Always a pleasure to see Matt Dusk. Wave.fm. Hello, Matthew Aaron. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Woo. Yes, good morning to you too. So excited about Uptown Waterloo Jazz, an incredible festival. And Waterloo is my hometown. I grew up in Waterloo. And you are going to be performing not only at the festival this year, but at a very special fundraiser. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been performing out there for as long as I've been singing, and it's got one of the best jazz festivals, I think, in all of Ontario. Uh, I can remember every single time we go there, not only are people excited to come out, which is, usually there's two, three, 4,000 people, but even in the rain, they'll stick around and stay.
Yeah.
So I believe it's March 20th, we're doing a fundraiser to raise awareness so we can rock and roll and celebrate the season.
I think a lot of people do not understand that Sun Life Uptown Waterloo Jazz is basically a charity organization. It's not for profit. And everybody who comes to the festival, it's free. You're not
Yeah.
buying tickets. I mean, how often does anybody get to go see Matt Dusk for free?
Well, interesting when we do stuff all over the world, say it's the North Sea or the Montreux Jazz Festival, tickets are in the hundreds of dollars, if not
Yeah.
thousands, depending. And the amount of the high quality of artistry that we have here in Canada is put on full display for literally $0.
So
So
those
raising
dollars,
awareness and money is a big deal. And remember, all the artists get paid, which is fantastic. I mean, they have to make a living,
as you
and it's
should.
it's
Yeah.
it's 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 all thanks to the wonderful support, that we get.
And I am told that you have played now 3 times. Last time was in 22, and that they have to close the gates because you get so many people to come out and see you, which is why I was also told you were chosen to headline this fundraiser, which is happening at the Tapestry Hall,
Yeah,
which
down in Cambridge.
sounds like a gorgeous place in Cambridge. Makes it very easy to drive from Toronto, from Hamilton, from Kitchener, obviously Cambridge, Guelph, the entire area that would be served with Uptown Jazz. You've been doing Tony Bennett now. First, it was a Frank Sinatra tribute. Your
Yeah.
most recent is Tony Bennett. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, I grew up singing this music when I was a teenager, and obviously I was attracted to voices that I could relate to. Frank, I have the same range, same voice as his. But when you start looking at other crooners, obviously Tony Bennett's going to fall in there. And when I was growing up, he was one of the only crooners from that era that was still alive at the time.
Mm.
And I had the opportunity as a teenager to go watch him perform at Roy Thompson Hall a few times. And then once I moved down to Las Vegas in 2004, I actually shared a showroom with him. And every single time that he would perform, I would get kicked out, but I would get front row seats to go see his show. So, I probably saw him 15 times there, got to meet with him backstage, got to get to know firsthand, feet apart, greatness. And the cool thing about Tony was not only was he a great musician, but he was very generous with giving advice or telling stories, making you feel comfortable. So, when I did the whole thing to Frank, I loved his voice, I loved his music, but I never had an actual personal relationship with him. Where
Right.
now this show that I've been doing for the last year, um, it's I'm reliving the experiences I had watching him. And I tell the audiences stories about, either when I was on tour with him or stuff backstage or good old fashioned advice he gave me.
So I actually read probably on your website that he did give you. I mean, can you tell us a specific piece of advice that he
Yeah,
gave
I
you?
mean, one thing as a performer, and I'm sure you talk to many performers, is we never truly, I think, sorry, not everyone, but I think there's a lot of performers who still really do get nervous getting on stage.
Hmm.
And it's something that even to this day I, I deal with. But as a young kid, you think like, oh, okay, I'm going to get over this. I'm going to get over this. And I remember I was down at the Golden Nugget at Las Vegas, and I was watching him, and I got to go backstage, and I just had to ask him. I said, Tony, you've been doing this on stage for so many years. You're so cool. you still get nervous because I can't shake it and I want to get over it. What do you do? And he kind of laughs and he's like, let me tell you the story about when I asked Frank Sinatra the same question. I was like, what? And he's like, yes, I still get nervous. And when I went to go talk to Frank, he said to me, he's like, listen, it's okay to be nervous. Tell the audience that you're nervous because they'll see that you care. And if you're just yourself, they'll root for you. Just stick
Yeah.
to great songs and you'll be fine. And to this date, if I ever get on a show where I just really am, oh, I need a drink, I'll just tell the audience, and sure enough, that piece of advice, just like the nerves, just go
You
because
tell
as
No, I
sorry,
was
go
just going
ahead.
to say, you tell the audience that you need a drink and then someone gives
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, because what we sometimes the spotlight effect. You think everyone's looking at you, and if you screw up, but the truth is that most people there are just like you. They want to have a great time and they want to have a great conversation. So that's always like my caveat that is of information that's given me the opportunity to always go on stage and to just let the nerves go.
So speaking of the drink, I mean, the crooners famous, right? For,
Yeah.
hey, buy a little cigarette, a little drink.
Hey,
I mean, do you do
yeah.
that in your show?
I don't do that on my show, but before for sure.
Oh, but sure. Oh, right. All right. So the
Yeah.
the big fundraiser for Uptown Waterloo Jazz. What for people who are buying tickets, and I will post on our social media the link where people can go and get tickets for this event. What can they expect to see from you that evening?
So my whole show is based upon those years in 2004 when I used to get to watch Tony. So when Tony would perform, he'd either play with a trio or a quartet. We have a trio with us, and the songs that I chose were the songs that not only affected me as an individual, but I would see around me how the audience would find ownership in the songs. Because
Mm,
truly, what Tony Bennett was is he was a standard singer, and not only did he sing them, but Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, all this stuff. So when I do the performances, I'm taking guidance from his show to kind of channel those songs to the audience that I know will have a personal opinion and something close to them on it.
yeah. So we will be impacted, and that's what you want for everything. I mean, the thing
Yeah,
is,
you want people to. It's like a conversation. You want
yeah.
them to have a good conversation with you.
And you're not actually imitating Tony Bennett. You're
God
still
no,
Matt
I
Duff
suck at
doing
that. I am
right.
the worst imitator in the world. I
Yeah.
suck so
So
bad.
you do you doing Tony, or you do you doing Frank Sinatra. You're not trying to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like I said, we all come from the same songbook, so it's a question of taking the arrangements and making them to us. But obviously, there will be a comparison to all the crooners or
Yes.
all the singers, right? Because we love these songs.
Favorite Tony Bennett song that you sing.
I'm gonna go with obviously his most famous one of all, the "I Left My Heart in San Francisco,"
Yeah.
just because I'll tell the story. It's too long to tell you now, but it's interesting when I do sing it. The first words, as soon as you sing it, the audience goes ah,
Yeah.
and they clap because for them it's a very poignant song. It's a very important song. So when you have that connection, not only with the audience but also with Tony's legacy, for me, it's what ties us all together. It's not about one or the other, it's about all of us.
Right. And that is the song that everyone would
I
most
left
associate.
my heart. And the funny thing was that song was stuck in storage for like 8 or 9 years. Nobody wanted to record it. And Tony just said, I'll try it out. And it became his number one hit, but nobody wanted to cut it before him.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I sang that song last year at a fundraiser, and I changed the
Oh,
words. I changed the words to "I left my heart in Whiskey Harbor," which is where the fundraiser was. Okay, so you've done Frank Sinatra. You're doing Tony Bennett now for Uptown
yeah.
Waterloo Jazz. Who's next? Do you have another person who is going to influence your next era?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sonny and Cher. I
And
got you, babe. Do,
and
do,
who's
do,
and who's
do.
Cher gonna be? Have you got a
Well, come
Cher?
on. I'll wear two costumes. No, no, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just joking. I don't really have anybody. I mean obviously I love people like I've done Chet Baker before. Um, there's Carlos Antonio Jobim. I'm sure you know, Girl from Ipanema.
Yeah, of course.
Um, it's funny in this day and age, people really do like an anchor, like an anchor. So anything bossa nova is good for me.
Oh, so we can expect Bossa next, hopefully.
Dun
Yes.
dun da 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 da
Yeah.
da da da. Sing.
Yeah.
Tall and tan and young and
Young and lovely.
lovely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I'm
I
gonna do the
actually,
percussion.
I have a bunch of songs I will send you that would be my requests for your next album because we play a lot of
Let's do
bossa
it.
on the wave. We do love it. All right. Well, again, the
Bossa's the
date.
best.
What's the date on this fundraiser for you
It is
for
on
Uptown?
March the 20th
So coming
down
up
in
soon.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's in a week and a bit.
Yeah, so we got to get people on it, get your tickets, support this absolutely fantastic Uptown Waterloo Jazz Festival, and a chance to see Matt perform on March 20th in Cambridge. Thank you for joining me, Vicky Van Dyke, for Wave.fm. Appreciate it. Always love seeing you. And
Yes,
hopefully
thank
I'll
you so much.
see you live soon somewhere too.
I'll see you on the
Okay.
20th. Just come down, we'll sing together.
All right. Take care.